There we go. Now everything's working. We're back. Welcome back. Hopefully everybody had a little dinner. I know I had a little dinner. I just stopped. It's supposed to fade out. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Continue the conversation. It was fun hanging out. So it was also really nice actually having company show up. I like surprises like that. So we had a good time, and I made some pizza. Pop this out here. There we go. We get a little deeper into the conversation. Because like I said, there is a lot to get caught up on. And all the comments were really nice. I appreciate everybody's comments after the video. Sorry to those of you who missed it, or clearly I know people weren't expecting a live stream, and well, that's pardon me, choking on dinner. A little too much, maybe hot pepper flakes, kicking my butt a little bit. It's got me sweating. I overdid it on the garlic too. We bought this giant garlic from Costco, I think it was. And it is not the same as the pre-minced garlic. That's the little jars. And that garlic's a little coarser. This is a lot finer. It wasn't bad. It just was more garlic than it should have been. So, fortunately, we don't have smell-o-vision, so you guys are safe. But man, it was good. Good to see you, Steel City Gal. I was going through looking at some of the live stream comments. I went back and reviewed the stream, just checking the audio, making sure everything sounded good, and it was the way I was expecting it to be, and I was very happy with that. But I noticed there's, pardon me, at least one account that was spoofing another account. So we're going to keep an eye out for those, because we don't like people pretending to be somebody else. So we're going to make sure we get rid of those for the mods. Verify which is the right account, and then we will ban. It's the only thing we're going to ban is those fake accounts. People who are trying to be somebody that they are not. So we're going to get rid of those people. So, but I'm always sort of kind of trying to figure out, like, why? What's the story behind somebody trying to impersonate someone else? And this happened a lot in the anti-Scientology live streams. This was going on, and it was interesting to watch because I'm clearly not new to this. It's something I recognize right away. But it really caught a lot of those streamers up. And I don't know if they knew how to verify. But there were people creating fake accounts, going into other channels and just stirring trouble. That's all it was meant to do. And it clearly obviously worked, but it was a problem. So, and yeah, at some point here, maybe even tonight, we can talk about the Scientology stuff and what's been going on there, and particularly in Los Angeles. But I'm going to leave that kind of up to you guys. I'm an open book for you. It has been a while, Lori. Welcome back. Welcome back. And I'll pull up some stuff to show you here, because I want to kind of see how this works. So as you can see, I'm using StreamYard right now. in the past when I'd live stream, I would use a combination of a couple different programs. One, because we were using the StreamYard in order to bring guests in, right? And I like that. Like for me, that was a great function of StreamYard. Everybody liked it. It worked really well, even though the program that I was paying for actually allowed you to bring guests in. People were really nervous about that. And honestly, it jammed up my computer more. So I kind of liked using the StreamYard. So so that way we got the little ugly duck up there, but it's it'll go away eventually. But thank you, Reds. I appreciate that. I did see that there were some folks who were not happy to see me back and thought I needed to crawl back under a rock, but that's not going to happen. So there's no rock big enough to cover me. Let's just say that. You want Leah Remini's phone number? Honestly, Gra. She's fun to hang out with. She's fun to be around. But as for me, she would be just too much. Just too much to deal with. Just too much. In small doses, she's great fun. She's great fun. Hi, Penny. Hey, gang. Welcome back. And Hope's back. Did you get finished working, Hope? Let me see if I can get this open here. Who's been playing with Chat GTP? Anybody? I have just recently with some projects that I'm working on. I cannot seem to clear my throat. It's interesting to talk to and to brainstorm ideas. It is a fascinating tool. Like once you actually have something that you need to do, it is a curiosity that has proven just playing with the photos and creating images and things. It is a skill to learn. That's for sure. And I'm sure there's some better AI, but when you're just looking for something to play around with and something that doesn't charge you, you only get to use it so much. But ChatGTP is actually pretty neat. We have a long time. Well, not a long time, but we have some time before it really becomes part of everyday, our everyday world, I think. Oh, that's funny. I'm trying to remember now. It was room 42. And it was actually Elon Musk talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I'm not really that familiar with, and the answer to the great problems of the world, and he's talking about 742. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Maybe I don't know if Gra, were you a fan of the movie or the book? I didn't know if that was partially where that came from. But it was the answer to every question, 42. But I don't know why the 7 came in. I wish I could tell you why the 7 came in, but I don't remember what that was. It's been a while. So this stuff is actually quite random. So let me just see what pops up here. I got to be careful because I don't know if you guys remember. we were looking at bot accounts, and we saw something that we shouldn't see on the live stream, and I had to kill the live stream and restart it real quick. But we are not going to do that again. We learned our lesson following that rabbit hole of fake accounts. But I think they've actually done a pretty good job of getting rid of a lot of those. My biggest problem right this second is that I primarily use X on my phone, and feeling lost right this second with where my bookmarks are. Oh, they're down here. They're hidden in the 3 dots. When in doubt, go to the 3 dots. That's I gotta click on that. Let's see if we pull this up here. Present this out. So right now, live on X, Alex Jones has an emergency broadcast going. Zelensky escalates war, it says. He got 229,000 watching. Batty at TwitchCon. Come watch me. I swear I'm funny, says Batty. Has 1,300 watching. Oh, Ford Fisher's at a pro-Palestine activist rally in Lebanon. Shoot. Let's see if we can pull this up. Here, I'll give you a shot of this here. So let's share screen. Okay. Window. Yeah, I think we can do this. Okay. Here goes nothing. Let's see. So with this app, you can't really customize it too much. You kind of get what you get. Actually, I can do that though. That's kind of cool. So I'm not gonna play the audio of this, but these are Frosty Broccoli's friends, and they are the resistance. Anyway, so that's going on. But this does not look like the trouble crowd that does things. These guys look like they're just kind of hanging out. And they've been out there for a while because I saw some other live streams coming from the same place. But the resistance is out. So we'll cut back to this. There we go. And then here, let's check this out. So this was interesting. Oh, come on, squeeze down there so I can see the window. Maybe you can try this at home. Coca-Cola apparently is not allowing you. This is an account called Travis for Trump. Let's see. Why does that do that? I can get rid of that. Okay. Coca-Cola doesn't support its Christian customers. So you can try this at home. I tried the Amazon Alexa and asked her about why you should vote for Trump, why you should vote for Kamala. And it gave me the same result as the woman in the video, which I thought was really interesting. And by the next day, it did change. But it also, if you didn't ask it specifically the same thing that the woman said in her video, then you didn't get an answer, basically. So you had to phrase the question just right, which wasn't that crazy. It was just, why do you support, or why should you support? Why should you support either one? And it would give you the answer. But did any of you guys try that? Just to verify whether it was actually real or not? Gra, thank you very much for the 5 memberships. Look at you go. Pamela G got one. CKM Music got one. Our old friend Hayes got one. Ava got one. And Hot Damn Elaine's Crafting. Look at you guys go. Thanks, Gra. Our old pal Gra. I appreciate you. Welcome back. I might have to turn the fan on. It is getting warm up here. I had a couple lights on. But yeah, I thought this was interesting. So that's why tabbed it because we've been seeing this where, you know, these websites, Amazon, give preferential treatment to one political side of the aisle or another, right? And that's to me, that's what this was here. And I'm not gonna customize, but let's see. Here's what the reader added context they thought people might want to know. Contrary to what the tweet claims, Allah loves you was not allowed, but pending approval. Okay. And then since been confirmed to be like Jesus loves you, not allowed, as seen by trying to replicate the on-demand Coca-Cola website. Well, shoot, let's just go to the website. We'll give it a try ourselves. So you can buy personalized 12 fluid ounce can of Coca-Cola. We like the original. Do we want a special occasion or theme? I don't know. Sure. Let's do American flag. Let's say Jesus loves you. And try it. Looks like the name you requested is not approved. Okay. So let's try Allah. No, see, that didn't work either now. So maybe they changed it. What else could we put in there and test? Let's put Gra. Gra loves you. Oh, see there, that works. It's not such an awful sight after all. But why not Jesus? What about all of those Spanish guys with Jesus as a name? Do they not like Jesus? Names of countries, celebrities, religious figures, as well as anything that could be considered offensive for other reasons. All Bible-related names? I don't know. Let's try. Jedediah? Is that? Oh, no. There. Oh. Why does it keep shifting up to the top? I had no idea how to spell Jedediah. That seemed to work, though. Jedediah is not a religious name. Pedro. That's funny. There's Pedro. Let's see. Can we put WYSIWYG on there? Yeah, there we go. See? Look at that. Anyway, so of course they're very limited as what they want. But, you know, I get it. Hey, it's a company. They can do whatever they want. You can choose to support them or not. Anyway, we can untab that one because that's out now. Oh. I almost pulled the trigger and dumped the stream. I was like, whoa, wait, whoa. Yeah. So I had seen this, and obviously we know who this guy is. But I had posted up earlier in the day the Trump chicken dance. I don't know if you've seen that. It's pretty funny. Let me see. If I go to, how do I get to mine now? No, I can't see that. Hang on. We're having troubles. It's funny. I know on the iPhone where I spend all my time how to get over there, but oh, here's me. Let's see. So I had posted up former President Trump 20 years ago. This one here. This is great. Have you guys seen this? So this is Patrick Bet David You're right, Hope. That is real video of him. So it says 2004, but look at that yellow suit. That is something. It actually goes with the hair pretty good. That is funny. I'd actually seen this before. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was. Yeah. Yeah. He's an absolute entertainer. It's too funny. They used to love Trump, Laura says. That's exactly right. They used to love Trump. They absolutely did love Trump. Everybody loved Trump back then. Yes, door knocker. Welcome back. I got you straightened out here. I'm glad you said that. Fixing this. Okay. There we go. All right. Try that out, door knocker. With great tools comes great responsibility. But yeah, Laura says they used to love Trump. I agree. They did used to. This one I bookmarked as well. This is interesting. How many of you knew about this rally going on in DC on the 29th? This is jointheresistance.org. This is going to upset some people right here. But look at everybody that's there. It's just a small handful. But I think this is going to be a big deal in DC. I think it's a big one. Yeah, the script. I knew I'd mark that for some reason. And it's funny because I forget what I've bookmarked here, so we may not necessarily talk about everything, but it's things that I thought were interesting. Because how many of you have seen this video of her and what she says? She perpetuates the Project 2025. The dictatorship. Wow. The funny thing is, I didn't even know she was Paramore, Macklemore. What's the band? Not necessarily on my my list of. Wait, are these still my bookmarks? No, these are. This is my. Let me get back to the bookmarks here. That's why I was having some trouble. All right. It's good stuff. So this Boss Money, he caught my eye. Actually, Boss Money's been around for a little while. I don't know if you guys remember this guy. He's been around, but what I have been, I guess, more. Why did that do that? More concerned about is how these men I'm not even gonna make the comparison, but this guy right here has been riding these women for a while, right? You may not agree with them. You may agree with them. No matter what, the way this man, he ain't a man. First off, Boss Money, not a man. This is wrong. He has an obsession with these women, and this is pretty much all his account does is attack these people. for beliefs that's not theirs. Viva Frey. So I woke up this morning. This was a thing, right? And it's Trump wants to serialize people, calling them Nazis. So this was angry staffer's tweet. Let me pull this up. So this was Sandy Bachman using Holocaust survivors to make her statement. Sandy's another one of these paid nut jobs. She's got a huge audience, 240,000. You might have seen Sandy Bachman around the People's Convoy. I think she was out there. I've seen her around DC. You know, take a look at this photograph of these journalists. You know, these are the people she's associated with, right? So covering the riots, they're riot journalists, as equally I have been as well. I have never donned a helmet. Well, the second We Spot I did. I put on a helmet. But I had been attacked at the first We Spot. So I'm not an idiot. But traditionally, I'm not covering my face. I'm not wearing gas masks. I've never had any of that stuff while I've been out streaming. But this is the gang right here, right? This is what Sandy Bachman does. But she should be canceled. Right here. Why did she have face covering like that for January 6th? What did she know? Good question. You can't. If I have to create stories, then that's what I'm going to do. That's a nice pull out of context. Good times. Sandy Bachman. There you go. That's why you got to join X. You got to get on X to see this. It's not all bad. Trust me, it's not all bad. These were things that I want to highlight. But anyway, Sandy Bachman had done this, and then Angry Staffer here, who's another left winger, not a White House staffer, right? So they don't work in the White House, but maybe they do. 600,000 followers. Typical Democrat garbage. She wants to make sure that you pay attention to this. He wants to serialize migrants. But Viva Frey responded in the very best way possible. Like we all don't have social security numbers. So I don't know where they get this stuff. Like, I feel like they watch him just to find that couple word phrase that allows them to just do these things. So that's why this was bookmarked. Good stuff. Insurrection Barbie, right leaning account. Actually, pretty good. How many followers? She's got 400,000. But she posted this up from the Heritage Foundation, and I thought, wow, okay, this is a really great way to point out this nonsense, because you know what that is. And now you've probably seen what this is. So the two different documents, and it just kind of goes to show what the DOJ has been up to and what, where their priorities are at. So that's why I'd Viva Fry. Yeah. Thank you. Not cupcakes. I appreciate that. I love that it keeps going back. We might just have to, but I don't know. Maybe it's funny. Like that outfit though, man, that is something. Get rid of this knucklehead. It's not the greatest system that I have, but I just thought bookmarking, it kind of keeps it all together. It kind of makes it a little more Pamela G. I don't have nightmares. It's not the worst thing you've seen. We just got done watching season 3 of Designated Survivor, also known as the woke Netflix season. And man, it just like it. Netflix took a show that was actually really well done in the first 2 seasons and completely just killed it. The writing sucked. Like, it didn't have to continue. Would I have been mad if they didn't do more after season 2? Yeah. But I'm actually more mad that Netflix had to go and do it and do it the way they did. But yeah, pretty awful. But it was no West Wing, that's for sure. But the concept was really interesting. And I think the first 2 seasons actually had some interesting, like, an interesting look at how the country might be if it weren't for partisan politics. That's a mouthful. And I think it could have been a lot better. Oh, this was great. Who put this out? This was thick shelled egg. Thick shelled egg. These are all the magazine covers. How many of these have you seen and not seen? Because there's the hand grenade one I hadn't seen. I think I'd seen that one. They really like. That was actually pretty cool. Let's see. Can I kill that? Oh, yeah. Not that one. I was trying to figure out, was there something to... It's repeating, I'm back. It's the one that circles around that I was wanted to pause and... Washington Post. There it is. Like, I'm not sure what is bad about this one. Twitter right there, and then you got Trump tax cut. Repost on report on death toll. I'm not sure what it says up in the top left corner. Oh, ICE wrongfully. Like, I'm not sure why that one's in there. That one feels like it doesn't belong there. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. The New York Times Magazine. Where do these things, are these on like grocery store shelves? Does this come inside the New York Times? Where is this? Oh yeah, Grok. That's Grok. Grok is one of my favorites. Even Grok still, you can only do 50 images every 2 hours. So even though I have a premium, not premium plus. If you do premium plus, you can get unlimited Grok, but I just have to learn to simmer down and take it easy on my Grok use. But it is the brainstorming Grok and working through ideas, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. This is in Graw's bathroom. Like, these magazines I've never seen, so I'm like kind of trying to understand. Obviously, I know of the New Yorker. I don't think I've like they don't have that magazine cover on the rack at Walmart, right? Not here in Hagerstown anyway. Maybe where you live if you're kind of posh. By the way, the secret is go to Walmart in Waynesboro. It is the nicest Walmart around. We have 2 in town, and then we got Waynesboro. So we go to Waynesboro. I found at that Waynesboro Walmart, one, it's really clean. And there's no security gates, which I find really interesting. Both the ones here have security gates. It's very well organized. It's stocked with different merchandise. They have a lot of specialty things. As you know, I'm from Detroit. I love a Detroit Coney Island. They have National Coney Island chili in a can. It's not perfect, but it's about as close as I can get to a Detroit Coney Island in Hagerstown. And that's why I love that Walmart. But that's just a little fun fact. Anyway. Yeah. This is how progressives, liberals, like, this is how the people who are not voting for Trump, who haven't woke up yet, haven't seen Tara, you're back. I got to tell you, I'm sorry. Tara. I'm sorry. I'm like Scott and his girlfriend. He can't say Laura. I'm going to get it wrong. Her name's spelled Lara. It's Lara. So I assume you're Tara, Tara, Tara. I should know this by now, but I'm an idiot sometimes. I get it. I'm so glad to see you. Welcome back. I have been looking for you. So I went to your old restaurant and I was so disappointed. First thing they did was tell me you were no longer there because I asked, you working? Oh, no. She's not been here for a while. Anyway, food was okay. It was not yours by any means. And they had changed the menu up and it's not my least favorite restaurant in Hagerstown now, but it's not my favorite like it used to be. The airplanes haven't changed. In fact, the airplanes are probably, still busier than ever. But the unicorn asked me to track you down and find out where you're cooking, what you're doing, and catch up with you. So if you would email me, I would appreciate it. I heard you might be doing some good things. I stopped into a farm the other day and talking about some things, and she might have mentioned you. But I didn't want to be weird and ask for your phone number. However, I'd love to talk to you soon. So hopefully you reach out to me. I would appreciate it. Your flavors are amazing. Your food is incredible. I know you're kicking ass wherever you're at. So oh, I was so disappointed. I don't know if you can see it in my face. I was so disappointed when I knew when they told me you were gone. I knew the food was not going to be the same. It wasn't. It was good, extra salty. It was too much salt. Like on the verge. I like a lot of salt, but I can't even remember what I had. I had a pork chop. It was good. It was delicious. But it was not your cooking. I heard that, Tara. I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. And hopefully you're kicking ass doing it. So I'm sure you are. I don't even have to wonder. So best chef in Hagerstown. Best chef in Western Maryland? Definitely. Best chef in all of Maryland? Quite possibly. I think you might have the best flavor profile. That's not right. What's the word I'm looking for? Your palate and your flavors, your food is just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Anyway, I'm getting back to where I was. Sorry. Oh man. Let's see what else there's. This is good. Oh my God. Let's listen to this for a second and I'll tell you a story. Because I did something. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. It's been a long time. In fact, while we're watching this, let me get it back to the beginning. But while we're watching this, I will so there's been a lot about this, right? Like this conspiracy theory has been around forever. But it's interesting what they're talking about and this radiation area. So it continues. My favorite one recently that they've shown is early wire work, and they literally have video or film of them practicing this wire technique where the camera's on its side and then the astronauts actually hanging from a wire. Back up to say, I worked in the film business 30 years. I've seen a lot of different techniques of how to do things. Back then, all film, there was no video, right, at the time. Video was very different, and television cameras were massive. But what they did was, so that you turn the camera on its side so that it's right side up. But then to create this weightlessness, they hang. Yeah, I paused it, feline, but I think it will play in a second. Oh, no, I had it on because I was hearing it. If I'm hearing it, you should be hearing it. But we'll check again. God says we didn't hear words silent. Oh, you guys are missing the whole thing. Okay, so why is it not playing? So now I'm playing it. You guys are hearing it, right? Nothing. Huh. That's really weird. But you can hear me. Let's get back here. I know this one we turned off. Right? Because I had turned that off. You can only hear me, huh? Because that's on. Do. That's on. Huh. Okay. Well, that's not fun. That's not fun. Okay, so let me see. I thought you guys were hearing all that stuff playing. You heard that, right? God runs how your tech help is 1995. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. Now I'm starting to wonder why. Let me switch this real quick. We'll try it again. So you're not hearing that either. That's so strange. I wonder if screen sharing here won't allow. Maybe it won't send the audio, but it's going through that, so it should be coming out. That kind of ruined the fun. Sue Parker, I still have Twitch, but I'm not on Twitch. Not on Twitch. I'm just streaming to YouTube right now. Chuck says maybe the record's stuck. Nah, it's weird. Because honestly, I'm not even sure what to try, which is interesting because let me see here. Let me double check this audio. Road main. Can you hear that? Could you hear the testing on road or testing on? Yeah, testing your speakers on StreamYard. Did you hear that? No? Okay. And I know you're not all messing with me because I trust most of you there. It's so weird. What the hell's wrong with this thing? It's coming through there. That would be off. That would be on. It's potted up. I wonder if I shift it up here. Tell me if you can hear it now. Yeah, that's what it is. William, it is under presentation. Oh, present. Let's see here. Well, yeah, because it is present and it's a screen share. Now, actually, that could be part of the problem. Is present screen share may not allow audio. That could be something that StreamYard does, possibly. Yeah, so it's video file. I can't do that. But I swear I've done that. Well, no, because I've always done it through my other app. That's why. Anyway, we'll save this for another time. But let me present screen share screen. So what I was going to show you was this picture here, talking about the moon landing. I faked a moon landing. That's me there on the right with the Santa beard. It hasn't always been like that, but this Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, whatnot that they're talking about in that video that's playing, and the reasons why it wouldn't have been possible to get to the moon and the radiation belt and the technology that we had and why it was faked or why they claim it was faked. And then we did this commercial with Buzz Aldrin and his son, and we created the moon actually in Little Rock, California, on a I think it was prunes or peaches or some sort of fruit. It was like a factory that they rented, this warehouse. And it was pretty big. This was a lot of stuff. Like, I went home and showered and coughed up what? William Martin's having troubles. Can you mute your mic? One will or do or another. I hear, but not both. What do you mean you hear both? Anyway, so this factory and then this warehouse, and then they brought in like it was concrete. I want to say it was concrete dust that we walked around, and they created these craters and everything. And it was for a giant social media company. And when I saw this Neil Armstrong moon video, I was like, I wonder if they've released the commercial yet, because it's Buzz Aldrin and his son sitting on the moon. And I only have these two pictures, but this is me holding a camera there during a take, and then this is the grandson. But that's the surface of the moon, and I just spent the day in the dust, and it was really bad. But see, I've been to the moon. Fortunate me. But I don't know that we'll ever really know the truth. I'd like to think that we were. I'm more of an optimist on that. But I don't know why they spent the company that did this commercial, which I'll be honest, I don't see them doing a whole lot of commercials, but I also don't watch a lot of commercial TV, so it's not impossible. But they spent a lot of money to make this commercial, and the only thing I can think of is maybe they're waiting for the passing of Buzz, which may never happen because I think that man's going to live forever. I didn't even need an astronaut. No, I didn't. That's the weird thing about it. I'm superhuman, right? But look at it. Look at it here. I'll put it back up. Just look at that crater at my feet. That's just a miracle. When was it? 2017. That was 2007. I remember doing that job too, because we had booked a number of commercials, and it was the same cameraman. And we went from that commercial there with that company. We finished up because, well, we were out there for 3 days. And I remember on the last night we were there that we had to hightail it back to LA. We had a 7 a.m. call in, like, I don't know, somewhere south of LA in a neighborhood to do a commercial for something else. And I hadn't slept all night. Got in the truck because we had to get out of there as fast as possible, because when you do commercials, all your equipment you have to take with you basically. But we had a plan where we had a group of guys that were coming in that were going to help us wrap out. So we had a little bit bigger crew than we normally would, knowing that we were going to have to drive the 2 hours back to LA and be able to make it to the shoot in the morning. And I'm trying to remember what it was for. I remember being inside of a house and being so tired that I was like suffering trying to get the dolly into the house. It might have been an insurance commercial or something, but I was kind of happy that it was a little chill. I basically spent the day on an Apple box, manning my camera, just trying to focus as best I could. But it's not like the cameraman couldn't be too upset because he's the one that asked us to do these back-to-back jobs and knew what it would involve and that we, committed, and it was fine. You get through the day, and sometimes you just don't need sleep. You just run on knowing what you need to be doing. But I actually think it was the same director now that I think about it too. I think it was the director, cameraman, and the grip and lighting crew, all the same for the two jobs. But anyway, a lot of fun. But yeah, working in this and but meeting Buzz was pretty neat. And of course, the question is, people are all thinking the same thing. Like the question was on the table, but we're working and you're trying to be professional, so you don't say anything. But I knew that he had gotten questioned by somebody at one point, and then that had been asking him or questioning him about the moon landing and whether it was actually real. And it was a trigger for him. And I you wouldn't dare say anything, and I never say anything to that guy. But he was a neat man, and he's up there in age, but it was kind of a teary-eyed moment when you think about if it's real, which obviously that's sort of where the emotion comes from, that he's sitting on the moon, which clearly that's not real, right? But just the idea that, this astronaut is sitting on the moon with his grandson having a conversation was a really neat idea. And I don't know if we'll ever see a finished commercial. I don't even remember how the commercial went. I just remember the parts that we shot, but there was a lot of visual effects, and we were outside in a fake spaceship. When you work in Hollywood and you do some really funny, like hokey stuff, and sort of the behind the scenes view of it, it's hard to take anything serious. So it's one of those things I sort of cherish too. But yeah, I went to the moon. But yeah, so that's why I tabbed that. We'll get rid of this and go back to the. Oh, man, that's too funny. They're tears of joy, and just I can't even begin to sort of articulate some of the funny stuff. But as we hang out together, maybe I'll tell you some more stories I was doing. Oh, Scott Adams, I follow, for those of you who don't. Fascinating. I wish more left-leaning people would interact about the things that he talks about and the way he breaks it down, because somebody who truly is more centered in views, and it's interesting when you hear people talk that are not fully into the same beliefs and ideals that you might have, how they articulate those, and as much as they disagree with, it's like I understand, I understand. I'm willing to hear people out. So, and you guys can't hear any of this stuff. Let's try this one. Gra, tell me you can hear that. Not a word. All right. Well, that's that. This one. I wish you could hear this one. This was absolutely hysterical. All right. Well, damn it. That ruins all that fun. Anyway, shaking the cameras, banging on that's unfortunate. There's some funny stuff there. This guy's hysterical. Oh, you can't hear it because it's not presenting. That's why. But even then, normally you can hear it through Mm. That makes me wonder what's going on. Not tonight, Mandy. Not tonight. Not tonight. There's a glitch in the matrix. There's something happening in the system. Bill the Baker. What's up, man? Holy cow. The man, the myth, the legend. We got all the legends here tonight. Wow. Wow. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to try this one last time. Screen sharing. Some screens let you share audio. Look for the share audio checkbox next to the window. Oh, let's try this again. Window. Share audio. Let's see. This one. There's no share audio. To share audio, share a tab instead. Oh. Select tab to share. Oh. Okay. You guys are not going to believe this. This is complete. So guess what it is? Take a guess. I will give an attaboy to anybody who can figure it out. It's not easy. It just I can't share that screen to show you what I just learned, but it's a browser thing. Graw, no. Graw, this is so far above your pay grade, I can't tell you. It's, and I don't even think it's a Mac thing. I don't think it's a Mac or a PC thing. Just certain apps do not like Safari. It's a Safari thing. And so in order to share that screen, what it wants me to do is share it as a tab. So I would select the tab. The problem is I can't share a Safari tab because it don't like Safari. And that's the only way you can get the audio. So what I have to do is I have to go up here and I have to go to X and try to sign in to X.com here. And now I've got to relog in because it's like, wait, this is a different program. So now I got to, do the whole thing in a thing. And okay. There we go. Okay. Now we're good. Look at that. Okay. Now let's try this. Watch. This is going to be a miracle if this works. We're going to bring this down here. And now I can go up here. And I'm sorry. I wish you guys could see this. It is magic happening right now on my computer. It's magic. Watch this. I'm going to press that button. I'm going to hit share screen. I don't want to see these tips again, even though that last tip actually helped me because it said some screens let you share audio. But anyway, so I'm now, look at that. Now I have an X screen here and I can click the audio tab. Where is that? Audio tab. Oh yeah, that was turned on. So that was good. So, I don't know what's going on here, but Mittens posted this. This is not something I saved, but let's see what this is. Let's just do a quick test. Can you hear this? It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it too. Is that actually it's not Backstreet Boys. It's In Sync. No, that's not In Sync. That doesn't even look like In Sync, does it? Somebody please help me. Who was that? Hope says we have sound. Well, thank you, Hope. I actually kind of expected that we had sound. Once I figured out it does not like Safari. I love Safari, man. I like using my Apple products. I'd prefer to use my Apple products and support the Google. God, that's too funny. Okay. You guys want to do you guys want to hear why landing on the moon was BS? So that's Backstreet Boys, huh? There was another Backstreet Boy, right? He passed away though. Didn't he? That's who am I thinking of? because there was Backstreet, and there was the unicorn was asking me about 90 Degrees. She was calling. She was in there a boy band 90 Degrees. Like, yeah, it's not 90 degrees. It's something like that though. We had a laugh, but yeah, 98 degrees. That's pretty funny. Let's see if I can pull this up. We'll just because we went through the whole story of the moon landing. Oh, he's back. He's back. Here, Joe Rogan.
No. Do you?
Yeah.
Why do you think the moon landing is real? Why don't you tell me why?
I saw it on television.
Oh, you're a genius. Oh, beep that. Hit
Okay,
that.
we'll bleep it. We'll bleep it. No, it's okay. We got
That's
it.
genius. You saw it on TV? That's awesome. I'm going to show you some CGI. I'm going to show you King Kong. I saw that on TV, too. There's an 80-foot
I love
gorilla.
that
He's running
he's
around
like,
kidnapping
I'll
white
show you
chicks. You should check it out. 1972 was the last time a human being has been through the Van Allen radiation.
You know what I'm going to tell you? My question was always, and it has always been, if what's his name was the first one to step on the moon, who was the cameraman? Right? Wasn't the cameraman the first one to step on the moon? That's always been my holdup. That number one question for me. Why not the cameraman?
About 1972. That's the last time. There's been only 7 trips ever that human beings have ever gone past 400 miles. Every single space station mission, every space shuttle, every satellite, all of those are inside the protective Van Allen radiation belts, which start at 1,000 miles. They go from 1,000 miles to, depending on who you ask, if you ask NASA, 24,000 miles. If you ask James Van Allen, the guy who discovered it.
And I'm confused by this because why does it go around that way? Wouldn't you just go out through the top or the bottom then, so you don't have to go through the Van Allen belt? Just asking. It's a fair question based on what we're looking at here. The Van Allen belt is here and here. Go that way, right?
It's 67,000 miles of intense radiation that's in a gigantic.
Come on. I can't put them both up simultaneously, but can you see me up there? I'm on the moon too, right? And look at how different. Well, that video is very flat, but I think we nailed it in that commercial.
Gigantic donut band that covers around.
And who was it? Stanley Kubrick that filmed all this on his deathbed, talked about it.
The Earth. Now, even if you got outside of that band, you have to deal with solar cycles. There's the apex of a 20-year solar cycle was between 1969 and 1972. All the time when these guys are making those missions. Any one of those guys out there in those tiny little aluminum shielded crafts would have been killed instantly during any solar flare.
Why fake it?
Thank you, Kyle.
How many of you have been to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum and seen the craft and the silver tape and whatnot? You know what he's talking about, right? AMC. I got a status report on that, and I heard he's a genius. I'll have to go back and watch it. I'll have to go back and check that out. Yeah, I am definitely not a genius. Definitely not a genius. But I like that. Good comment.
Why not fake it?
You should open with that.
If you look at any of the footage online, it looks ridiculous. It looks.
So now that I'm watching this again, I have to find the video that was posted showing the wire work of how they might have created this. And you'd go, oh, okay, this is spot on. If I could turn it. Yeah, I can't turn it. But you turn it sideways. He's facing the ground. He's got wires coming off his back, cameras on its side, and he's bouncing off the ground. He's pushing off the wall, right? And he kind of does that it creates that sense of weightlessness, right? That's what
Stupid. If you look at the videos, it looks ridiculous and dumb. You know why? Because in 1969, nobody anticipated that we were going to have VCRs and the internet. We were going to be able to watch that. They wanted to win the Cold War. The Soviet Union's had over 10 firsts in space. First man in space, first woman in space, first they had everything. First dog in space. They had first satellite. They were so much more advanced than the Americans were. But the Americans were more advanced in trickery, and that's what they did. They figured out a way to fake it. That's why when Neil Armstrong got back, first of all, he went insane. They went into a deep depression. So did Buzz Aldrin. He became a huge alcoholic. He gave no interviews.
To me, this is still flat Earth theory. It is all in that same realm of disproving something that
Neil Armstrong still to this day will not give interviews. He gave one speech that he gave at the 25th anniversary of the moon landing, and this is what he said in front of America's best honor students. He said, "We have here amongst us America's best and brightest," and the quote was, "You will achieve many great things if you could peel away one of truth's hidden layers." That's a speech this guy gives standing in front of the top honor students of the country. Not, "I went to the moon." He doesn't say that. He gives this cryptic speech. Now, Bill Clinton, in page 100, I think it's 156 of his book, My Life, he gives this story about how when he was a kid, he was working with this carpenter. And this carpenter said, "You know, I don't believe man landed on the moon." It was 3 months after the moon landing. And he said, "I thought that guy was ridiculous." He said, "You know what? I don't believe anything those TV fellows show you." He said, "After 8 years in the White House, I thought maybe that guy was ahead of his time."
Wow.
This is in Bill Clinton's autobiography.
Wow.
This is in his book. There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way.
By the way,
it's impossible today. China wants to go back to the moon.
That is a pretty cool car. Why have we never been back? If we did it so easily then, why haven't we been back a dozen times? You know, Elon's putting up some days 2 launches, 2 launches a week. Satellites. By the way, have you ever seen the satellites going across the sky in, succession? Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Eidnar, what's the matter? Whoa. Why? What's going on? Who were the founding members of NASA? Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. I'm guessing you know the answer, Troy. Am I behind? You've now got an NSYNC song. You said NSYNC song. But then somebody else was like, "That's Backstreet Boys." Stuck in my head now. Thank you for that. You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. We could say "baby, bye, bye, bye." I don't even know. Yeah, why haven't we been back? That's again another good question. Is there no purpose of going back? Been there. It feels like we could we know we've been there. We're successful. Let's do it again and see what we can learn, from the moon. Maybe something scared them. That's the question. Oh, that's right. We're talking about Elon launching that. How many of you have seen the Starlinks moving across the sky? It is the trippiest thing when you see that. It is, to me, it's like I was up in Maine actually, and see it going across the sky, and you go, "Wow, that is absolutely cool." And they were pretty close together. They were like hands width apart, and there was 20 or more in the sky as they're going across the sky. It looks like a bunch of airplanes following each other. And then when I did a little research, I find out that they launch these, and then they release them into the what do you call it? Orbit. And then as they travel through the sky, they're increasing altitude. And once they get up in altitude, then they lock in place and they do this. And they got like these bat wings that open up and they're 20 feet wide and pretty awesome. Really neat to see. Something you don't see that often, but All right, Troy, don't keep us waiting. 5 original NASA members. This is the creators of NASA. Let's have it. Let's have it. Do you guys want to see the rest of it? You can go back and watch this whenever, but I think you get the gist of it. He carries on about why it didn't happen, or why he thinks it didn't happen. I'm trying to figure out how to close the screen, and I'm like lost because it's Google Chrome. I just don't use Google Chrome. Oh, look at that. It gives me an option in Google Chrome to stop view tab StreamYard. No, I don't want to change. I want to, oh, I see. But it's nice though that you can bounce back and forth. Let's see what else I got here. This was pretty good. This was interesting.
So we have to start always with energy. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal.
This is a video about.
It's my ambition to get your energy bill within 12 months down 50%. If I can do that, we've done a hell of a job. 5-0, not 15, 50. Interest rates are going to follow, and actually they're going to follow for another reason. The economy is now not good, and interest rates, you'll see they'll do the rate cut and all the political stuff tomorrow, I think. And, will he do a half a point? Will he do a quarter of a point? But the reason is because the economy is not good. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it. But we're going to get interest rates down, and we got to work with our farmers. Our farmers are being decimated right now. They're being absolutely decimated. And, one of the reasons is we allow a lot of farm.
Watch some farm content on YouTube. Hear the farmers talk about their margins and having to sell off portions of their property to pay taxes. So slowly they dwindle away at these farms and they build people farms or whatever they're building. And we're losing that farmland. And that's what Trump's talking about here, is the hardships of the farmers. Really fascinating stuff. That might be a good topic for another night, but there's some really great farm content out there and farm knowledge that we could share.
Product into our country, and we're going to have to be a little bit like other countries. We're not going to allow so much we're going to let our farmers go to work.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Listen to this fucking genius.
Yeah. First of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that.
She went in the polls, right? That's what they keep telling us. Pretty good. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. I don't remember what this was, but Cash Patel. Oh, this was the one I wanted to show you. This guy doing comedy was great.
We are going to dedicate all our funds to figuring out how to get the spaghetti sauce out of Tupperware. Okay? And
that's a huge problem, right? Spaghetti sauce in Tupperware, it never comes out. I think that's something we need to deal with, as this young man suggests.
Is going to reduce American expenses on Tupperware, okay? And that's going to put the money back into what we are calling an opportunity economy, okay?
Come on.
Because we are not going back.
Come on, this is good.
We are not. And this
is good.
Former president would like you all to spend money on glass Pyrex. I remember growing up with my mother. There was a small business, and they served everything in these little takeout containers. And we would go home, okay, as you do. And we would use them, we would reuse them, okay? That's the America I grew up in. I was not given $1 million baby formula in a golden chalice that was heated by holding it between the thighs of a manservant, okay? And I did not file for bankruptcy 6 times. Thank you.
Pretty good, right? Very funny. I think he nailed it. I think he absolutely nailed it. I think he absolutely nailed it. I'm trying to figure out which view works here. Thought I had something different, but maybe it's just me looking at it the wrong way. But yeah, it's just this is the stuff that I find that, you know, like, I feel like
because
I feel like it's worth sharing in case you missed it. Don't use a microwave, Bill says. The first one he did, from Dutch. Dutch has. Yeah, I don't know. Why didn't it let me go to Dutch? I don't think Dutch is. Door knocker. If you see it, will you send me a link to it? Not now, but if you ever see it, I'd love to see it. I think it's funny. Does he always do Kamala? This guy got robbed in New York. We're not going to share that story. It's sad. It's really sad. This woman, Elon Musk retweeted this. It's because the IRS union backed Kamala Harris. Probably does not need explanation, right? I had to look it up, but let me just tell you, the federal government is full of unions themselves, including the post office, letter carrier unions, the IRS union, which is, I forget, the NFAFT something or another. Interesting. So this on its own is a conversation for one night, and I'm not going to turn on the sound on this, but these protesters, like I had been seeing for a few days tweets about a man who was shot in the New York subway. And they say over $2.90. And they were claiming that he was a fare jumper, right? You know, people jump in the turnstiles and trying to get a free ride on the subway. It turns out it wasn't about that at all. Man had a knife on train, and they tried to put a stop to that, and they did a kind of a shitty job of it. But accidents happen, and he deserved to get shot. The other people didn't deserve to get shot. So, these little rioting activists went down and destroyed the subway, and they're using it as an opportunity to push an agenda that involves hating on police officers, hating on the rule of law, and they're trying to make this guy their next George Floyd, which he is not. He might be as much of a criminal, if not more, but he's definitely not going to be there. this is really good. This one, I don't know why they thought this house was abandoned, but let me pull this up for you, because you'll recognize there was a building in LA that was like this, and
he knows about Tagger Towers in downtown. Well, now there's a Tagger Mansion happening out here in the Hollywood Hills. You can see it right there in the center of the screen. That's right at the corner of Mulholland and Multiview. Now, this one is a little bit different than the problem that they...
Like, you don't drive by there or, drive in the area and not see like all that colorful graffiti and go, wait, there might be a problem. I don't know.
They've been having in the downtown area, because actually neighbors have been threatened by squatters that have been here as well. This home is definitely completely covered in graffiti, and a lot of this graffiti is known by a lot of the folks that live in the downtown area. These artists are the same people that are basically tagged Tagger Towers earlier on. But the neighbors, apparently they have been threatened and confronted by armed folks that have been staying.
There's still plenty of room for more. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. So we like to watch these abandoned property videos. Great entertainment, kind of soothing. Some of the YouTubers, I'd rather watch it without audio, but this, I think, was one of the houses that we watched. It was definitely in the Hollywood Hills. If it wasn't this one, it was another one. The one he was
at this home. LAPD definitely has been called here multiple times. They have escort.
Was recently abandoned and had actually some squatters in it, and still had like not great shape. It was clearly abused by drugs and other things in the house because it didn't have running water, but it had power for some reason. I think it was, but or vice versa. And they had fucked up this house, and it was a really, really nice house. And this is just like it, except for that one had driveway on the roof. I think it was, because Hollywood Hills, these homes, the lots go down the hillside, so they do some wacky retention walls and whatnot to create more space. They spent a lot of money on these things. But this was just like that building downtown LA, which was owned by the Chinese, and the Chinese bailed on it. They're like, fuck it, like, we out of here. And they left their building, and now it's a problem. They don't know what to do with it. It's a massive project. They've been working on it for years. And the Taggers now own it. For those of you who remember, if you really want to take a trip down memory lane, this was when I first started live streaming. The Lakers win the championship, and they're riding downtown LA.
Reported folks out of this building, but neighbors saying they've returned.
Basically, I was at the base of right below Staples Center. People were climbing up and in and shooting fireworks from. Just a little side note. Let's have a little PTS moment, memory lane. That was crazy. I'm glad I went home that night early. Who knew? But anyway, that would probably be the closest I have been to being arrested. But inside, I had my scanner in my ear. So I knew LAPD was getting ready to make arrests. I knew that the buses were there, and basically you could hear what they were talking about on the radio. And so I was monitoring that as I was live streaming, showing what was going on. And yeah, that was a crazy night. They made buses look really bad. It wasn't even the bus's fault. The Lakers won. The Lakers had won. Like, there was no reason to destroy the city, but they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves. Hi, Barbara. Welcome back to you. It would have to be in the Valley, Troy. Sorry. That's the Hollywood Hills, but if it was the other side of the mountain, pretty good chance. Pretty good chance. Curious, is that common knowledge for people? Like, do people know that about California and the Valley and what the Valley was known for? And there used to be a Barham Boulevard and the 134 freeway, kind of near Warner Brothers. Wait, no, is that Barham? Yeah, it's Barham. Yeah, 134 Barham. There's a little mini mall. There was a restaurant bar called Sardo's, and they had adult entertainer night, and they did karaoke, and it was a very popular night at Sardo's, the strangest little Italian restaurant. And it was this was back, what year was that? 2000 maybe. Yeah, it was probably about 2000. The craziest thing I ever seen, Hollywood. Sorry. We don't need to tell any more stories about that. But Troy, I'll tell you that story sometime. Sardos. No. Well, didn't start out that way, Troy. Because they're still like a family business. But no, for some reason, like that just became the place where, I think it was Wednesday night or Thursday. It was Wednesday night. That was the place to be. And it was all adult entertainment stars there partying and singing karaoke with what clothes they had on. Mostly. 6 months to be exact. Actually more. I did a 5-minute stream about 6 months ago. It's probably coming up on almost a year since I really did a live stream. And so yeah, it's been a while. So you haven't missed anything. You made it through the hiatus. We'll say that. We'll say that. It was funny. It was funny. It was they were actually excellent like singers. What I can remember. I don't know if Sardo's is still there. There used to be Sardo's was on one side, closest to the freeway. And then at the other end, there was like a neighborhood. There was kind of a nice little hidden back neighborhood with a lot of trees in it. It's still kind of it was definitely Burbank. Glendale. No, it would have been Burbank right there. And then there's Coffee Bean back there, and it was just a quiet little suburban LA neighborhood. You go to the other side of the freeway, and you had the famous cleaners there, and then Bob's Big Boy was right there for the Friday night car shows. So like if you were working at Warner Brothers on Friday night and you were lucky enough to have an hour walk away meal between 5 and 7, the place to go was across the street to Bob's Big Boy for the drive-in. And it was car show Friday nights, and you'd see Leno out there and some really beautiful old cars. Typically always something from man, that's awful. I can see it in my head. Not Ed Roth, made all the movie cars, Batmobile, Monsters. His shop was down at Hollywood Way and Magnolia. On Magnolia at Hollywood Way. And accidentally got to walk around in that one day because they left the door open. Barris Customs. Sorry. Yeah, Scott right there. Barris. Nice. Yeah, Barris Customs. Like he'd show up and one of the work guys, somebody who was one of the builders in the shop would bring a car out. Like there's always amazing cars to see at the drive-in, old school, like sock hop, Bob's Big Boy drive-in. And that was the fun thing about working at Warner Brothers and being able to get over there quick and walk around and see some cars. And I always enjoyed it more when I wasn't working on a Friday night, but that was pretty rare. But it occasionally happened. But yeah, I had a buddy in town from Detroit, and he's a media content creator. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I was showing him around, and we had gone to pick up a sandwich over there, and we went over to look in the window, and the door was open. I thought you could get into Barris. I didn't realize that they were not open to the public, and we walked right in and just looking around, and a lady came up and she was startled by us, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start it." She goes, "How'd you guys get in here?" Well, the door was open. We thought you guys were open today. She goes, "Oh no, we're not open to the public." It's like, "Oh, okay, we'll take it." No, stay, look around, enjoy yourselves. And so we walked around and saw the entire place. We didn't have a guide. They didn't, have any to tell us about it. But just to be able to look at the cars and see it was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that. That was a highlight. Hillbills going to Hollywood in the morning. Take protection. Keep your head on a swivel. Code pink. It's a shithole. Stay away from Hollywood. There's a whole group of people. They run. Oh, man, they run around, and you'll be able to recognize them because they typically have a cell phone in their hand. And they kind of hold it this way, and they're like, sometimes they're like doing this, and they're like talking and looking at it, and they'll rant about things like, I don't know, Scientology and some other weird shit, and they just start yelling at people. Watch out for those fools. There's like a blonde girl. There's a guy who wears a hoodie around all the time, and he's yelling at police officers. Yeah, some like early, late teen, like virtually adults, almost adults. They're not 18, they're 17. So technically they're still kids, but they roam the city, unsupervised. And, the one's been known to hang with a bike gang, that goes around and hits 7-Elevens, and they steal everything they can. And, then they escape on their bicycles and, do wheelies and stuff. And watch out for those guys. They haven't hurt anybody yet. They just like to leave a mess in their path. A lot of Reese's, like peanut butter cup, wrappers on the ground. They're the most dangerous. You can slip on that shit so quick if you're not careful. But wow, Boxer, you've been paying attention. It's good to see. I'm happy some of you know what's going on. Yeah. Joy seen a female Rod Stewart. Yeah, she's pretty weird with her camera too. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not safe. It is just not safe in LA. And only getting worse. They're importing unsafe people. There's this one big guy with a beard. He's like, I don't know. Keeps getting arrested, but police can't seem to get him under control and just screams at everybody. They imported his ass from, I think, Chicago. But, yes, Cindy, absolutely. Thank God you're on the East Coast, because it really, La La Land out there, they can have it. They can have it. We're gonna start making new maps. Let them have their life and the way they want to live. And I believe in that. I kind of do. You know, we just have our own little echo chambers, whatever that is. And I want to call it. What's a moral echo chamber? I guess it'd still be an echo chamber, but you know. I miss so much in the chat. I cannot keep up. Some. So I didn't even. I gotta note that one down. See, I just realized the one thing I like about I could search. I could search in the other one. I could search for your name and see all your comments in a row. So that way, like, instead of having to weed through and go, okay, there's that comment, and there's the next one. Like, I could literally type in your name, and I could see just your comments in the order that you place them, and sort of be able to catch up quicker. I'm remembering why I liked certain things. Cindy says I can stalk you. I don't know if the unicorn would allow that. She keeps me on a pretty tight leash, thankfully. Where are they going to have the kitty cook? I don't know. If you find out, if you see any flyers for the kitty cook-off, you let me know. Man, who knew? Boxer. Let me ask you this question. A year ago, when there were those people in the chats carrying on about that cat, would you ever have thought, in a year or more, whenever that was, we're going to be talking about people eating cats and eating dogs? Like, would you ever have thought that that would be a possibility? In that context, like, I'm not that sort of, there's always been that. There's always been the, oh man, everything's falling apart. There's always been that thought that, how far, what are you willing to do if doomsday came? The whole scenario, right? You're gonna, what are you willing to do, right? Was the movie where the soccer players crashed in the top of the mountain in the snow? They had to survive. Like, it's hard until you're there. I understand that. But that's the only time I would consider eating past the certain point in the food chart, right? But that's not everybody. When I was in Nicaragua, I am pretty sure they literally would eat anything down there. I feel like there's a certain level of desperation. Even the cows weren't healthy, which is weird. Like, that was hard to see. The really skinny cattle just on the side of the road, tied up. But like, when just living through the day is your number one priority, you're kind of gonna do whatever it takes. So to like be in this town that they make cigars. This is Esteli, Nicaragua. And to think that they have a Burger King, right? It was very new to the town. I think it was like the year before we got there. They got it. The escalator. They'd never seen it. They'd never had a 2-story building, multi-story building that needed an escalator. Like the new mall had an escalator in it. And it was like, it brought the people out. They wanted to ride the escalator because they had never seen an escalator. Like, this was a new thing to them. So they live a very different life, right? And so it definitely, I don't know. Obviously I can't stomach it because I got Tucker. I've got, but then like to contrast that with going to Italy and going to Venice and being on the canals and seeing a butcher shop with a neon horse in the window. Wait, is that a horse? Yeah, that's a horse. Oh, that's a horse. Whoa, that's a horse. Yeah, you buy fresh horse meat in the butcher shop on the Venice Canal. Yeah, who knew, right? Someplace where they built a home on water in concrete and wooden sticks, right? And they're eating horse. So I guess we feel sort of special. Nay. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to get you laughing because I'm tired. It's like past my bedtime. And this has been good. This has been fun. We'll do more of this. More chatting and deep thoughts by Chris. Jack Andy. One of my favorite SNL bits. Deep thoughts by Jack Andy. But yeah, who knew? What a conversation. When I lived in Monaco, they sold horse hamburgers, which I ate unknowingly. Yeah, I think I have this feeling that at some point we have all eaten some things that we probably were told were something else. I'm no food expert, but I'll tell you, I've had some tacos, delicious as they were, be like, I don't think that's beef. And this is in LA. But you can get anything. You can make anything, Maybe that's why the tacos were cheap in the street tacos. But you guys know my story. I never got street tacos that were the same price because they have different pricing for everybody. Especially at the regular one that I would go to, and the women knew me, and they still charged me different every night, and I wondered why. And my quesadilla, which was amazing, didn't look like the quesadilla of the guy in front of me. He got a lot more meat. That was the one I always wanted. I'd be like, oh, that looks good. And then I watch where it goes. Wait, no, he ordered the same exact thing I did? No. Not me. Tucker loved those too. We would, I don't know, we ever live streamed that? I don't think we did. That was our time. But during COVID, Tuck and I would go to the taco place down the street. Industrial Tacos. And they had the best horchata. And they had the best, I wish I could tell you what the onions are called. The pickled onions. They're a little hot, a little heat to them. Oh, delicious. But for like $12, giant horchata, massive asada quesadilla, and then there's 3 tacos, 4 tacos. And so tacos are for Tucker, but he wasn't allowed out of the truck, so he had to eat through the back window. He was pretty good at it, And I would feed him through the back window as I stood on the side of the truck and feed him, steak bites, but no onions, no heat for him, just the meaties. He loved it. Some nights it was 10, some nights it was 12. And they never wondered why I ordered the exact same thing every time, because I always wanted to see how much they were going to charge me. Every night. I never argued, but I took note. So I started making a rule that I never ate from food trucks that didn't have prices posted. It made me feel better, even if they were giving somebody else a discount on whatever price. At least that was my thing. But it's funny. Door knocker just said something about Troy and talking about tailgating. Anyway. Tony. All right. Till next time. You know how it goes. Wizzy out, everybody. We'll see you guys. Have a good night.